What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel where I talk and do everything pinball. So, if that sounds interesting to you, then hit that subscribe button down below. The reason why I sigh is because I really don't want to talk about this machine anymore. I kind of almost want to talk about Stranger Things more than I do want to talk about this. So that tells you kind of how bad I feel about this, and I feel like I need to go through this again. The thing is, this was revealed, at least the art and everything was revealed like 3 months ago. But due to COVID and all that stuff and junk, this has obviously been postponed until just recently to show us what heavy metal looks like in action. So to make sure I'm still going to be falling in line with the fair use, I will not be showing the complete trailer in its entirety in this video. But by all means, if you want to see the full trailer in its entirety, I will put a link down in the description below. Alright, so let's talk about what we see here in this trailer. Now, this is showing you the back glass and the speaker panel as well as the display. Now, something that we've already discussed, and I feel like I'm gonna do a lot of repetition here because this is all the information that we've essentially gotten is what we've already been over. We've been through this, guys. We've been through what this game is going to have and what it will not have and the kind of layout it is and stuff like that. But the chances are, so for those of you that know a lot about this, remember that not everyone does. So please bear with me as I do reiterate a lot of the information that is very well known to a lot of people, but not to everyone. So if you are familiar with the Star Wars home pin, then you're going to be very familiar with the layout for this heavy metal, because that layout is essentially like their new home pin standard default layout. That's all it is. It's basically, this is the blueprint of a fully functioning, fun, interactive pinball machine. I've played the Star Wars home pin. I sucked at it in comparison to Scott from Penn Stadiums, who kicked my ass on that game. But I played it, and I actually enjoyed it. I really did. It's just one of those things where, again, when we go into price for what you're getting, that's where I'm kind of like, I don't know about that. Which is going to bring us even further to the point for this title on the price. So this is what it is. Incendium has a contract with Stern. They go to Stern. They say, hey, we want a pinball machine and we want the theme to be heavy metal. Stern, I'm sure, is like, sure, we can do that. Now, just tell us what you want. Now, here are the different types of things that we can do. Either one, you can choose basically the base model of like choosing their layout that's already complete and ready to use for this amount of money. Or you can hire one of our designers and they can design you a whole other layout, which puts it into a whole other spectrum of things that need to be paid for and gone through. So naturally, whenever it comes to that, chances are they're going to settle for the default home pin layout for cost purposes. So once that's over and done with, then Stern's like, okay, so now we've got basically your layout complete. What all do you want in this title? Now that's why when it comes to this game, a lot of the things that I have to say that are negative, I don't want to put that on Stern. I honestly do not think that a lot of the negatives that I have to say about this title are Stern's fault, because they are merely doing what they are able to do with their customers' approval / what their wallet can handle. They're going to be making a limited amount of these. I want to say it's 500. I could be wrong, but I want to say it's 500. I will look it up, but part of me doesn't want to because I really don't know. Let me see. All right, so check this out. Just doing some quick researching. Here we have Incendium's website. Now, here, if you want the limited edition heavy metal art print, that's the back glass. That is the back glass for this game. Now, the game, as you can tell, is $8,000. That's right, guys. That's not a misprint. That's $8,000 for this title. That's right. So it's made to order. And this item is made to order, shipping holidays 2020. Wow. So it's not even like being essentially built right now. I wouldn't think so. I honestly wouldn't, because right now Stern's factory is really loaded up with Turtles. So Turtles is going to be basically pumping out the next few months. They're working on their pros right now. They're going out the door, then they're under their LEs, and then they're going to be doing their premiums. So chances are Turtles isn't going to start slowing down until about September, if I had to take a guess. And that's maybe when they might start doing this, or they're going to start revealing their next cornerstone. I'm going to assume that they're saying holidays because I'm guessing they're expecting a slowdown at that point. The Heavy Metal Pinball machine commemorates the 300th issue of Heavy Metal, which has been running since 1977 and inspired the 1981 animated movie of the same name. An exclusive variant cover edition of issue 300 will be included with every machine. The original art created for the Heavy Metal Pinball machine art pays tribute to characters and worlds from the magazine's storied history. New additions from this upcoming publication joins the shared universe for the first time. Gameplay revolves around the warrior heroine Tarna and the undead tail gunner Nelson. Both will speak for the very first time ever, supporting the in-game narrative. Exclusive heavy metal soundtrack featuring Sebastian Bach, Blue Oyster Cult, Cheap Trick, Brendan Small, and more. Original hand-drawn heavy metal artwork, exclusive custom-painted heavy metal action figures, DMD display, commercial quality, coin-operated, first-ever chameleon paint armor kit. Now, that's something I do want to point out, is that the armor that they're using for this title is interesting. I don't have anything against it, nothing negative to say about it. I think it actually looks pretty cool. Service available United States only. Okay. Well, there you go. So, $8,000, made to order. You get your Heavy Metal Pinball machine. Now, let's go over this. We can go through the trailer a little bit here. They had Jack Danger come in to show off what this machine is incapable of doing. Now, let's stop right here. And honestly, guys, my really only complaint about this title, well, I have two. Two complaints. One is the art, and number two is obviously the price. So, what is my issue with the art? My issue with the art is merely this portion right here. Just this bottom third of the playfield, I feel, has gotten very lazy. I don't know another way to put this, but this does not look as good as the other parts of the game. Almost every other part of this game looks heavy metal, and it looks pretty good. But then all of a sudden, from like right here down, looks very vacant. I feel like they could have done so much more with the slingshots and around the slingshots in this whole area, except they went another direction on that. So let's go over this again. So here is the nice and shiny armor that they have for this. So that looks really good. Here we have old Jack Danger pulling up to pull the plunger. Now let's go down here to the cabinet. Now they're going to do some better visuals of the cabinet. So I just want to state that the cabinet art looks great. No complaints with the art on the cabinet, as well as the side blades look great. Up here looks pretty good. It's just that bottom third of the playfield that I have a problem with. Now, as I said, the layout is their basic default home pin layout, so there's nothing extravagantly new except for changing out the toys that are up here on top of the ramps, and of course the art that's on the targets and stuff like that. But essentially, mechanically, the game should be the exact same as their Star Wars home pin. Once again, the side art looks awesome. That looks good. I've got no complaints on that. That looks very, fantasy and heavy. That looks good. I'm not going to sit here and nitpick that. that is definitely doable. Showing more of the, and here is basically what these toys look like. Now, obviously, I could sit here, and this is an easy nitpick, but I'm not even going to really go into depth on this. But yeah, obviously, these could be better, but it is what it is. And we'll just move on to the other one. At least this one glows up, so that one's a little bit different and everything. That's pretty cool. Some flipper action right there. And here we have these different categories for heavy metal: your sci-fi, your horror, your fantasy, and your metal. So I'm curious to see how the rules play out with this. That's how I want to see that. Is just I'm wondering how they're going to integrate the world of heavy metal into this game. They're going to be limited on what they can do with their display, obviously, because it's going to be on just a regular DMD. I honestly feel like they don't really show very long the bottom portion of the playfield. They always they stop like right before they get to it. But it's just very vacant down here. I don't know. It's nitpicky. I know it. I get it. But that's really my only complaint besides the price. So this is obviously even going to have a smaller market than the Star Wars home pin. Everyone was very upset when Star Wars home pin was announced because it wasn't a full-size game, and it's obviously not going to be for us typical people that like full-size pinball machines. This is going to be leaning towards an even more niche market, with the fact that the only people that are going to want this game are the ones that, one, can afford it, because it's $8,000 for a smaller version of an actual full-sized pinball machine. For $8,000, you could almost get you a brand new LE machine. You could definitely get you a premium title. So this is going to be for those that are hardcore heavy metal fans. But not just heavy metal fans, you also have to understand that the people that are going to get this are not only fans, but also not too savvy on what you do and don't get with this pinball machine in comparison to what else is available. I have to think about what would be a dream theme that would sell for a lot of people, but the only way it would sell is essentially that as long as they didn't know that they were missing out on a lot of stuff. So they were to like basically take this theme and layout, and let's just throw a theme out there. Let's say Back to the Future. God forbid that they did a home pin version for Back to the Future, but let's just say they did. And the thing is, that theme, oh my God, starts tugging on my heartstrings. But I wouldn't get it because I don't want it to be in a home pin cabinet, and I definitely would not pay $8,000 for a smaller version of that. No. I honestly feel that if they were to price this machine like around the same price that they did for the Star Wars home pin, then I would have very little to complain about. Even with the bad art, I'd be like, it is what it is kind of thing. Because I would also know that Incendium has to get their cut for profit and everything. So with that being said, my main complaint is obviously just the price for what they're giving you in this title. But everything else looks pretty good. Art-wise, I just feel like there could have been more. I mean, for those of you that know heavy metal enough, you know that they could have done so much more with that playfield. But it is what it is. That's my thoughts on this heavy metal game. By all means, I would like to know what you think about this title in the comments down below. I'm going to try to knock out a couple of more videos before I go to bed. I don't know when I'm going to have a time to do them tomorrow. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll just have to see how things go. It's going to be a very long week for me up ahead. So I'm doing what I can, guys. So bear with me. We're getting really close to hitting that 2,000 subscriber mark. I'm trying to think of something to do to mark that occasion. By all means, if you've got recommendations for that as well, I'd like to hear them. I will be also starting to do a mailbag session where if you send me emails, good, bad, whatever, then I will have a segment on mailbag. Depending on how much mail I get. By all means, if you want to send me email, do hardypinball@gmail.com. I'll put a link down in the description below. So if you like what you've seen here, except the price, then give me that thumbs up. And by all means, if you haven't subscribed already, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. That way you can be notified of whenever I upload something for your viewing pleasure. Until next time, guys, peace out.